Hey you guys, I'm back with yet another bookish video. Surprisingly, this is more like a wrap up of what I read for technically October and then today, which is November. Today's November 6th. And most of these books I started in October. Let's start with the Mambo Reina series by I think uh Victoria something. I don't know. I'm gonna post the pictures over here, but just know I'm loving the series. Now I did not like the first book. I think is called The Quarter Storm, and then the other one is called The Foreign Exchange, which is the second book. Which now that I think about it, foreign the Foreign Exchange, it makes a perfect title, like perfect title for the mystery at hand and what's later on revealed. You ever look back and look at the picture or the cover or like the title, like, mm, mm, nice. And I have to say, it's the same thing for this. Now, the first book, I only rated it a good, you know, 3 star, but the second book, I bumped up to a 4 star because, bruh. So, Mambo Reina, you follow this Haitian American, and I was so happy to see certain details, certain like Haitian Creole, and I was like so happy because as a Haitian American myself, I'm like, I've been craving that in my books, and to see that, especially like I don't remember much of the first book, to be honest. Like I know there's a mystery. I know that she lives in New Orleans. This is where it takes place at. And not to mention, I think the first book had to do with a death that had to do with another mambo. But like because it looks bad on the community, she decided to investigate. And it's medium pace for both books. I would say like you get a glimpse into the main mystery and like her own life, and not to mention with her ex-boyfriend, the cop, in the first book, and how like how they had differences between Christianity and like her religion as being a voodoo priest. Well, not voodoo priestess, but like a mambo. But it's like, and before I forget, there is some tension between that was mentioned between American voodoo or hoodoo versus Haitian voodoo, and that was just spoken on like nail on the head. Like especially some of the beef there, bruh. That is just it's just so good, like for real. It's relevant, but like there were certain parts that this man irked me. The boyfriend, I still don't like his ass in the second book. I'm like, whatever, I tolerate you because she likes you, but I still don't like your ass, okay? But with that being said, if there's like based on how like the second book ended on a cliffhanger, like the mystery has been solved in the second book. But like there's another mystery, and it's like, okay, now we got to find out. But like there's like a broader mystery right between the two books, and it has to do with her mother because of course it takes place in New Orleans. She still managed to like live there after Hurricane Katrina, and the whole thing that happened with her mother and whether or not her mother's dead, if she really left them behind. And like in the first book, it kind of goes into history because like she's not like me where she's born in America. She's like first generation Haitian American, as in fresh fob, fresh off the boat. So she had time, unlike me, where she was born in Haiti, and the part of the reason why she left was because of the presidency at the time. How old is she? Is she in her 30s? I'm trying to think of the president around that time. I'll try to remember. Oh, the crazy ass dictator, him. I'm sorry, it's leaving my mind, but his face is right there and his story is right there. Basically, he at first people were into him, but then like he gone crazy and he started to think that because he was into voodoo at the time, well, if you believe it or not, but like, and I based on his actions and stuff, where he even turned against some of his family and everything else, and like the dictatorship, and like later on the history of that, and like how he turned on the voodoo community in Haiti because he thought that someone put bad juju on him, and not to mention how he was very paranoid, and rightfully so, because all the bad things that he's done, even including the militia that he created and stuff, like that was bound to get back on him, and the delusions made it worse, especially with all the horrible things that he did. Anyways, they were escaping that because he was coming for the voodoo community, and with her family being part of the voodoo community, is like, listen, like I'm gonna try to protect ourselves and everything else, but like this is getting too much, we gotta go. And like her father has some regrets, you can see some of that too. And yeah, it was a lot, especially in the first one, because it's like mm, mm. Anyways, but like the second book, what really bumped it up to the 4 star is not just a mystery, because to be honest with you, I didn't really like the mystery in this one. Like unlike the first case, like I like the mystery that she's trying to solve in this one versus the Foreign Exchange, because in the Foreign Exchange, yeah, you have like this broader spectrum, but I'm not going to spoil it for who the villain is and everything else, but like there were certain themes that was explored more, that I liked, especially like the whole thing between Catholics and voodoo priests, the voodoo community, and how I forgot which part, but like it reminded me very much of my own family, where like there are certain parts where like technically my mom, she was Catholic. I feel like a lot of Haitians are Catholic, and some of them are Baptist, but basically before my mom, I said, well, mostly converted to being Pentecostal, she was born and raised Catholic. But even in the Catholic community and between Catholics and other Christians, certain Christians in Haiti, they do believe that Catholics are just part of the voodoo community because they worship the saints and everything. And how she goes into like basically, when it comes for voodoo, we do believe that there is, well, I want to say we because I'm not part of the voodoo community. I was raised in a Christian household, but still, like they do believe that there is one true God, and the Luas are just, servants of that true God. Just like how the saints are, servants of God, the one true God, or and that part. So I can see, and how she like, and it was really brief in that stuff, but being Haitian American myself, and like seeing the beef, even in my own family, the beef between Catholics, the beef between Christians, and the beef between the voodoo community in my Haitian family. I'm like, bro, this hit this, like it was so brief, but it was like in the face, because like it is crazy the beef between the Christians and like Catholicism, in the Haitian community. Well, I'm sure it's not as as extreme, but like in my family it is. Because like they do believe like, okay, you're worshiping these other saints, and it's like that's not what you're supposed to do, type of situation. And not to mention, there was this one scene with this white guy who practices voodoo and everything else, but the arrogantness, the entitlement, it just brought something out of me. I was like, I hope you die. I'm just saying, like that, like it's giving colonizer, And it reminds me of this dude who went viral on TikTok on, the spiritual side of TikTok, right? And how he was basically trying to, educate people about hoodoo and voodoo and everything else. And then a black content creator was trying to warn people, okay, you were kind of misinformed on this. She was real nice about it too. She was really nice about it too, right? Bruh. The disrespect that white guy on TikTok did to this lady, calling her a black bitch. I was like, may the ancestors come down on you hard. Honey, I didn't even bother to follow up on it anymore because it got me so angry. And here's the thing. I'm not in, like, because of my Christian upbringing, I really want to get into it, but, into voodoo, but, like, I had to, like, move out on my own so I can, like, explore my own options when it comes from my spirituality and everything. But, in African spirituality, for that matter. But, the disrespect, I'm not even part of that religion, but I felt angry for them. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Yo, like, the way that she called this woman out her name and everything. It just, like, it's like, you think that you can come into other people's religion and think that's not gonna backfire on you. Like, what the fuck was that? Like, that got me so pissed off. I still remember his face and everything. And of course, and here's the thing, we are too nice. I'm sorry. Like, we are too nice, especially it reminds me in this book with the white guy who is a voodoo practitioner. Like, you let these people into our spaces. And it's not to say, because, there's that one white girl, Luau, who's a redhead and everything. I'm just saying, who's the wife of, who is she the wife of? The ruler of the crossroads. It's in my head. I know, like, it's just on the tip of the tongue. But anyways, besides her, she's like the only one. But otherwise, but you have these practitioners who disrespect y'all in your own space. And and that character in this book reminded me of that one guy on TikTok so much. And it's like, I'm not saying you're going to end up like that white chick who ended up drowning in her tub in shallow water because she was trying to get revenge on her black ex-girlfriend by summoning a Lua, but ended up getting somebody else. See, you're going to learn one. And here's the thing. Even in that entire situation, she ended up, all the black witches were trying to warn her. And you know what happened? The white witches, they completely blocked, excommunicated, and tried to shut down any black witch who was trying to warn this woman not to do it. They don't fuck with you like that. Y'all gotta learn. Y'all gotta fucking learn your lesson one day. Either way, it's because of those small interactions that I witnessed and experienced that it it moved that book up to like a 4 star, especially like when you hear some of the stories and stuff in there. That reminds me of certain stories that I heard growing up and like I want to say witness, but like, you know, even in church related stuff, you know. Either way, that in itself, 4 stars. Like, I can't wait to read more of the books. I don't know when her next book is coming out, because on Goodreads it doesn't show any information about a third book coming out. I hope so. I'm gonna have to, like, I don't follow authors, to be honest, so I'm gonna have to look her up and see when's the next book coming out, the third one. Now on Kindle, I read both of these 2 books on Kindle Unlimited, and on Kindle Unlimited it also has an audiobook, so you can listen and read while you're you know, read and listen type of situation. So get it while it lasts. I know that when it comes for Kindle, there are certain books that are popular that they put on Kindle Unlimited for a temporary, you know, for a limited time, so you can read it for free. I know for some of the books that I wanted to read for Black Aweenathon and, you know, other stuff that I managed to find on Kindle Unlimited, but I didn't end up, you know, reading it. There's still one book that I still want to read called The Good House. I actually have the audiobook, so I'm gonna read the Kindle Unlimited version with the audiobook that I personally own, because I DNF'd it when we got to the good parts. Anyways, but the other book that I read in October, like officially, was All Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby. Nigga, bruh, 5 motherfucking stars. Now here's the thing, like, I wanted to read in publication order. I never got the chance to do that because, what was it, Blackwater Top or something? It has to do with a heist. Yeah, I DNF'd that book because I'm just not into heist books. And it's crazy because I was getting into it, but it's just something about the heist that I don't really care for. It could be, what's that one popular YA book from Leah Bardugo? Six of Crows. The Six of Crows book series, that duology, I could care less. I know it's a whole, it has to do with, like, you know, heist and everything, and probably that's why I stayed away from it. I don't know what it is, just a trope of a heist I didn't care for. Especially like even if it has like some romance into it, I'm still not into it. Like, for example, there's this one series from Jesus, Sophie Lark, the Brutal Right series. There's I think it's either book 5 or book 4, probably book 5 out of the 6 books, where it has to do with a heist and with the whole car racing. First of all, I hate cars. Well, the whole car racing type of situation. I don't know. I just think of changing oil and all that other stuff. But even with the whole heist and bank scene, even if it is, the main thing is a romance, a dark romance, I could care less. Like, it took me so long to read just the audiobook because it has to do with the heist. So I don't know, it's just me. But in that book, I DNF'd it. But I wanted to read this book just in time for the live discussion with Monet, because she was the host of that one. And I must say, S.A. Cosby, he has such a talent of writing, you know, very flawed characters, main characters that you have faith in. What? You have faith in them to get the job done. For real. And despite me, you know, I'm pretty sure I'll pick up Black Top, you know, later on down the line, but I could care less about heist. I'm gonna have to, like, speed read or skim. I don't know. Or just skip it altogether so I can go to Razorblade Tears, because I have yet to read Razorblade Tears and I can't wait. I cannot wait, because based on, like, the first book, it has to do with a church, the pastor and everything being dead and everything, that book. And this one, bruh, I have faith in this author. Okay? Like, the flawed characters, and, like, oh, and I have yet to talk about what the book is about. Basically, the book is about, at first, a school shooter, but it ends up being so much more than a school shooter, and then you just sprawl into this one mystery that is going to shatter the small town in the South. And this is a book that I'm definitely going to have to buy the ebook copy, because I just don't have enough space in my stuff, because there's so many highlighted stuff, especially like a small town like that with religion and stuff. And, like, I kind of relate more to the main character who's been failed by religion and stuff, or, like, well, I want to say religious trauma. Me, I have religious trauma. Do I think the main character, the sheriff, has religious trauma? Maybe. But I will say, like, there were certain many recognizable moments in that stuff that I'm like, On a side note, I agree. But it's like, bruh, 5 out of 5 stars. You have to read that. Like, if you can get your hands on it, Like, I'm glad that I managed to get, like, maybe because I put my hold on the audiobook for so long, and it finally managed to get to me at the right moment. So I read that ASAP, okay? Because, like, it was, like, more like a 22 week? No, wait. Bruh, if you can get your hands on it, get your hands on it. That's all I can say. And last but not least, another mystery. Wow, mystery. Anyways, another mystery novel that I read is called Love Me to Death, and it's book one of the Lucy, or no, I'm sorry, Lucy Kincaid series by Allison. I don't know, child. Allison. All I'm saying is, I found another series I want to continue with when it comes to mystery, and I'm liking it. It's giving me like the same exact excitement that I felt when I first read my first Corinne Slaughter book. Is the same book that way I feel about that. I first heard about the author on Bookish Refuge channel, and on the Bookish Refuge channel, and the series that she was reading was her trilogy, the No Evil trilogy, and I actually got the book for me to check out and everything, but because it's not an audiobook, I've been kind of slow to read it. I didn't even open the book yet, child. But in the trilogy, the last book has to do with Lucy's case, and I found out what happened to her and everything, and I'm guessing all the books are connected if it has to do with so at least I know what happens in the third book, which I wish I kind of read, the No Sinners trilogy first, so that way I wouldn't get spoiled to what happened to Lucy, so I can, because like out of all, like I think in this series she's on to book 20, and I want to continue reading because it's so interesting, bruh. It's so interesting. So I already put my hold on all of the audiobook series so I can listen to it, because I don't know, when it comes to mystery, I think audiobook is just for me, but like, my goodness, like, bruh, like, so you have Lucy, who is a sexual assault survivor. I feel like all of her books has to do with SA and surviving and all that other stuff, or like sexual crimes, because I know, and it has to do with the FBI, because I know in the No Evil trilogy it has to do with, yeah, it's a romantic element between the characters, but also you have to solve this case, like for example, I think the first one has to do with a snut film, and how like they had to find the victims and everything, and it's very brutal, it's very like dark and everything, child, like trigger warnings for gore and everything else, but like, child, it holds no punches, no heart, like for real. And like there's like this character named Sean. He has a few brothers, and I'm kind of interested in their brother stories, so I'm thinking, because she got a whole lot of books, I'm thinking like each book follows like certain characters and their storylines, because I know some of them are in the military and stuff, and like even like when he was trying to find information for Lucy, and how like what is it, he interviewed like this Russian mob boss and everything, and the Russian, he hates his ass, but then he's like, listen, my beef is with your brother. Tell your brother, the only reason why you alive is because I know that you haven't seen your brother in forever. So it's like, what the brother do? Damn, what he's up to. But then again, he hasn't spoken to him in years, so I'm like, bruh, where's his story at? So I feel like this is a project Arthur, where I had to like, slowly go, because like if I continue to read back to back to back to back to back, I'm going to be fatigued. Like that's what happened with the Anita Blake series. I'm thinking about picking up that series again, like a mad woman. But if anything, I might read 3 books per month if I can with the audiobook, so that way I can like catch up to where I was and then continue, because Jesus Christ, in the Anita Blake series, how many books is she in? 29, 30? Child, that book series has been around. And not to mention, I really miss paranormal romance. Like, damn. Now, there's a lot of popular paranormal romance I didn't read. Like, there's one where, like, Nia Soleil? No. It's something to do with an angel of death or something. I don't know. Something like that. And shifters and all that other stuff. I need to get back into that, so that way I can, like, get into my paranormal romance bag. But for now, this is it. This is my wrap up. That's only 4 books in total. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I start a lot of books, but I have a problem finishing it. Like, my attention span is just a hot mess. Especially if I had to sit down and read versus an audiobook. I can, like, do whatever and still retain the information. So with that being said, that's just a wrap up of what I've been reading. What have you guys been reading this month, or technically October? I tried to finish this mystery back there in October for certain prompts, but it is what it is. And not to mention certain books that I wanted to read did not get through, so it is what it is. But either way, I like these prompts because, like, when it comes for like these readathons, it gives you, a kind of guideline of what to read, obviously. But like, if you have a hard time picking out which book to read, you could just pick a prompt like, oh, okay, I can look for something like that, But with that being said, I am out, and I kind of get some coffee. But with that being said, I'm out. Bye. Read a book, read a book, read a motherfucking book. Read a book, read a book, read a motherfucking book. Read a book.
a